Folks, what's going on? This is Big Daddy coming at you. Coming here with my girl, Lorel Stevens, the one and only, the one who I always talk about on my podcast, the one who's helped me. This is what she looks like, all right? See? She's beautiful, huh? See?
I'm a real person. I'm not a figment of his imagination.
And some people have asked me that. Who is she? And I've told people, go on her Facebook, look up Lorel Stevens. She is a real person. Some folks honestly think that you're not real. And it cracks me like, you're just making shit up. No, this is who it is. Or people that we know, like, she doesn't help you. I'm like, more than you do, some bitch. So how you doing?
And in full effect right here.
Yes, you are. See, live in full effect. Boom, folks. Now what?
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, now what? What you got? But I mean, I've honestly absolutely loved deepening our friendship over the years. We didn't really hang out in high school or in junior high. Like, I knew who you were, you knew who I was, but we didn't hang back then. But there was just something kind of, almost 10 years ago, 9 or so years ago, that was just like, I was really watching what you were posting and watching you evolve and seeing you ask such sort of deep questions of yourself and the universe and observing things around you. And I'm like, this dude has so much more depth, and he's hungry. Like, he is looking for more.
Yes.
He's looking to kind of understand and get some more context and maybe learn some new skills and tools. And so that's why I reached out to you. I always thought you were super cool and had a great vibe back in the day. But I could really see you searching, and I could see that you had way more depth and that you were just looking for ways to make life make sense and make life freaking work for you better.
And it has been. It's been working. I just honestly got tired of my shit, and I was like, no, you know what? I'm gonna make this work. This has to work for me, because I'm tired of running into the same goddamn walls every single time. That rat in the maze effect. I'm like, oh, someone has to have something. And I seen you post your stuff, like looking for people to help out. I was like, I'm calling. Fuck this, I'm calling.
Absolutely. And I mean, that didn't mean that I had shit figured out. I've had plenty of various stages along my life and decades of involvement of where I was banging my head on similar and different walls. And then you start to see some of the cycles and patterns and the bullshit that comes up, and you're like, where did this even come from? Is this mine? Is this someone else's? Was this a hand-me-down from the generations before me? But whatever this is, I don't freaking like it anymore. And I've got a really bad headache from banging my head on this freaking wall. So I want to find new tools and new ways to move through things. So I've done a lot of hard work and moved through a lot of really epically fucked up things. But and I've still got more, every time
yes,
that we
do
few layers, there's a few other little things that bubble up, like, hi, here I am. I need attention now too. But to be able to hand off some of those tools to someone else, especially someone who's open-hearted and willing and humble and ready to dig in and get their hands dirty and dig in this shit, because that's what you have to do. You can't
you do.
tiptoe around it and think, oh, I'm just going to throw flowers at it and it's going to be magically perfect. Like, no,
Guilty.
You gotta get. You were in the trenches. You were at an archaeologist excavation site, digging up every heavy, awful piece and going, where did this come from? Do I want this? Let me sift some of this shit out of it and see what's really here, and then decide whether I'm keeping it or not. And so that's what I wanted to just help teach you some of those skills so that you could move through some of that yourself.
You did a good job. You showed me a lot. Boy, you have showed me a lot. And just like you said, sifting through all that bullshit, because you find one thing and here comes another. You're like, wait a minute, hold on. Rewind. Why wasn't this included with this? And then Spirit tells you, because you weren't ready for this yet. You're working on this shit right now. Don't worry about this. You worry about this. But it's like, wait a minute. No. All in one. We got to handle this. But that's not how it works. Nope.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's times that I've been freaking pissed at the universe, like, I thought I dealt with this layer before. But listen, folks, it didn't hit us all at one time. If it would have blown up our freaking psyche. Our brain would have melted. Our body would have blew up. Like if we would have had every
Hmm.
atrocity come to us at once, there was no way that we could have handled it. And I mean, people have dealt with epic shit. You and I have
Yeah.
as well. But it wasn't everything, decades of it piled up at once. And it doesn't leave the same way. And I've been pissed about that sometimes.
Me
I'm
too.
like, I thought I dealt with this pile of shit already. Why am I back in it? But it has to leave in layers, and it has to leave as you loosen up this little piece stuck in some sediment here. It
Hmm.
starts to kind of let something loosen over here that maybe you're not ready yet, but it's getting ready. It's starting to bubble up, but you have to do the work here first to really get into something and then address the next thing. It has to come out in layers because, again, it would blow our freaking psyche. Our bodies would explode. There would be no humanly way possible to have it come in and all blow out at the same time. We would not be able to handle it.
Then we'd have shelves. Well, I don't drink anymore, but we'd have probably shelves full of empty liquor bottles and stuff like that, just trying to cope with it and trying to deal with it. And I'm glad it comes in layers, whether we like it or not. Just like you said, it'd blow our damn head off if it all came at once, which is something that I've been guilty of. I was like, oh, okay, I'll deal with all this all in one time, and I think I'm good. Nope. Nope. Something pops up later. I'm like, grabs me by my big ass here. Come here. Got something for you. Come here. Come here.
Here's something else you need to look at. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And going back to those shelves that you talked about, or our coping mechanisms, we all have them. We all
Hmm.
have them, no matter how fucking perfect you think you are, or I am, whatever we think of ourselves. We all have some coping mechanisms. And they
Yes, we
can
do.
be cigarettes, it can be alcohol, it can be weed, it can be other some form of drug. Caffeine, even, like, I've got to start my day with caffeine and I got to end my day with alcohol, and then I got to smoke a shit ton of cigarettes in between. It could be retail therapy. It can be the restlessness
That
of
was me.
never, yes, that happens too, never allowing yourself to sit in stillness and silence. So the restlessness and the always doing and the busyness, all those things are coping mechanisms,
Yes, they are.
like numb out and distract and to cause just some kind of interference with listening to the bullshit in our heads, dealing with the stuff bubbling up in our bodies and the cycles and patterns and things going on around us that are screaming at us to get our attention. But we're just like, no, I know, I'm putting my earmuffs on and I'm going to drink my alcohol and I'm going to smoke cigarettes and do whatever it is to not listen and not get to it yet.
And that's the hard part. That's always a damn hard part. Just honoring where you're at. Don't try to move 5 steps ahead. Just, whew.
You got to
It's
sit in the
ugly.
sauce. Yeah, you got to
Hmm.
sit in the sauce for a while, and it's not uncomfortable. You kind of feel like you're in that boiling pot of stuff, and you're like, ugh, this is
Why
uncomfortable.
are you here?
I don't want to look at it. I don't want to sit with the horrible thoughts in my head and the scathingly god awful things I'm saying to myself or that I'm letting other people do or say to and around me. Like, it's hard to sit with it.
It
It's
is.
hard to look at it. Of course, we want to distract ourselves and numb ourselves, but in that big pile of crap, and while you're sitting in that boiling pot, that if you can be patient with it, the clarity starts to come and some decisiveness starts to come, those aha moments, and then those like revelations of uh, it's a fucking choice. It's a fucking choice I have. I can still sit here and deal with what I'm dealing with and keep saying yes to all these things around me that are driving me crazy. Or I can say, I'm going to value myself enough and protect my peace to say no to this and no to that and not right now to this, and start kind of creating some space. Whether we're in the pot at that moment and dealing with some of the things, or whether we start to kind of make some more of that space even when we're not in the boiling pot.
Purpose are greater than your feelings, and people don't seem to get that when you're doing the work. They want it's like, oh, they see the pot, they see it, but they sometimes they just keep throwing shit in there. Oh, I'll be all right. We'll get this. Oh, I'll be all right. And then the water boils out, and then what? You got just a hot ass pot, just steaming, burning up every damn thing, and then you have the nerve to wonder why. Okay, well, why is it smoking like this? It's because you
It's
keep
on
putting shit in.
fire.
Yeah, you keep putting shit in there. Just take your time. Take your time, and most people don't want to take time because they. Here's my question for you. Okay, we're gonna let you go off because there's the good, there's the good side of stuff, and there's the bad side of stuff. And I know being the light work you are, there's some shit that you have to deal with. Not just you, other people. So
And I would have liked to think that all of it was just love and light and rainbows. But yeah, we got to get to some other stuff too.
you know what? You said love and light. I got one for you. Okay.
All right, bring it on. Speak
All
on
right.
it.
Speak on it. What's the most overused love and light phrase that makes you cringe every time you hear it?
Well, I think it's the love and light in general. And hello, guilty. I used to say it all the freaking time. So yeah, hi, that was me, Leon. And it wasn't like I was avoiding the heavier work, the shadow work, the darker work, because I was absolutely doing it. But I think what I was trying to kind of share with others is just there is some peace, there is some quiet, there is some love and softness out there too. But again, I was overusing it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's already been overused. So that's definitely one of them, period. What else? Gosh, my brain went blank.
Okay. What's the of all the stuff I've seen you do? What would you say was the most annoying misconception people have about light workers that you'd love to clear up?
Mm. I was a yoga teacher and a Reiki and shamanic practitioner. Like I did all that type of work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would just sort of make me laugh. And I wouldn't laugh in their face, but in my head, I'd be like, really? 'Cause it was like, oh, okay, well, you probably don't drink alcohol. You're a vegan. You don't swear. You just, love everyone and you like let everyone in. And, um, you just spend all your time in the clouds or whatever. And I think that's in my head where I'm like, or maybe they had a perception that maybe my life wasn't really that hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, hey, I just floated into my 40s and 50s and everything was fucking fine. No,
No.
no, that's not how it is. And yes, you can still do light work and beautiful work and caretaking for others, and you can still have a fucking steak. You can have a beer if you want.
Yes.
As long as you're not using things to excess. And I mean, that was even in the Bible. It's been in all kinds of religious practices that things are in moderation.
Yeah. Moderation. Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that. But I think that those were kind of some of the things that would make me laugh a little bit, or to think that my life was never really hard. It's like, wow, no, absolutely. For me to be in this place of more centeredness and a little more peace in my life and feeling like I could hold love and light, I really had to do a shit ton of work. You know,
Hmm.
when you've survived as many atrocities as I had at even such young ages and up, and then just another cycle of something else and another blow of something else, um, like, absolutely not. If I would have let those things crush me, like, absolutely stole my soul, which was what they wanted,
Yeah.
I would not be in this place. But I had to do a shit ton of work to get to a place that I could even hold the vibration of love and light and healing and peacefulness, and setting up respectful boundaries around me of the things that I was not going to put up with anymore or let into my space. But I had to do a huge amount of work to get there. It wasn't like I just floated here on a lotus flower and like I fart rainbows
Came in
and
like, yeah.
oh no, no, absolutely not. It took work, and there's still work to do. There's still plenty of times that I'm sitting in my own sauce of crap, you know, and going, oh, wow, here's something else I need to work on. Here's another place of where the scarcity mindset or the being hard on myself and, you know, other things are showing up. And, you know, like I'm seeing some things and whoa, I got to go back in the trenches and do some more of that work again.
Absolutely. It's that, and that's always the hard part. We think that we're good because we do. Sometimes, I mean, I'm guilty of it. I've done one day's work. I'm like, oh, I'm good. I'm good. No, no. Life always shows me, nah, punk, you ain't good. Yeah, you got some shit to work on. One day is not a cure all. You
Yeah.
get in there.
It's a constant practice. It's a constant mindfulness of, whoa, where did that thought come from? Or where
Hmm.
did that particular word track of, you should have known better? Or you fucked it up again. Like, whoa, whoa, where'd that come from? And
Yeah,
then
it's like calm down.
noticing it and going, whoa, okay, that's not my truth. And so I'm either going to turn down the volume or I'm going to flush that thought or set it on fire. And then I'm going to immediately replace it with something else that I need
Hmm.
to say to myself and say to my consciousness. But it is mindfulness, and it's an absolute constant habit to keep moving through these things when the old shit kind of creeps back up.
The old bullshit. Speaking of bullshit, I got I got
You
one
got
for
some
you.
shit.
Got some bullshit for you, and of course I'd say be honest, but you're probably one of the most honest people I know. When someone blame, okay, everyone always talks about Mercury retrograde and stuff like that. Okay, when someone blames Mercury retrograde for, let's say, like dropping their latte or some shit like that, or making their damn mistakes, do you want to sage them or smack the shit out of them?
I just laugh. I just laugh in my head, like I don't laugh in their face. Or maybe sometimes I might have a smile across my face, and I might go, okay. Um, I let those things kind of go one ear and out the other. Like, I absolutely love numerology and I love astrology and I
Yes.
love the different patterns and cycles of life. But I'm going to listen to it and I'm going to be present with whatever that particular pattern is. And then I'm just going to let it flow right out. I'm
Hmm.
not going to let it define everything that comes out of my mouth and every choice I made. And oh, yeah, I dropped my latte. Oh my God, like Mercury. No, I'm not. But I'm also not going to shit on others for saying it either. You know, and if I knew them well, like if it was a complete stranger, I probably wouldn't walk up to them and go, is that really your truth? Would you like to examine that a little bit further? Like, I'm not going to do that with a total stranger. But if it's someone that I kind of know, I'd say, are you sure that that's what's showing up? Or, or could there be some other things? Like, how did you sleep last night? How present and mindful are you in this particular moment? Was your brain spinning somewhere else? Was there tension in your body? I mean, like there could be plenty of other things that would have lended itself to you dropping your latte than fucking Mercury. So but I'm also don't feel, I don't know, I'm at this place where I don't feel the need to engage.
Right.
I'll observe, and unless like something is really out of control, where maybe there needs to be some kind of even subtle intervention, I just really hold my own space. And if it's someone that I know that's really suffering and I'm continuing to see them suffer and suffer and like, oh, now it's Mercury and now it's Saturn and now it's blah, blah, blah. I mean, maybe I would reach out and just say, hey, I've been noticing you've really been spinning lately. Do you need to talk? But otherwise, I really have gotten to a place where I just because I know what I know doesn't mean that I need to barf it out on everybody.
Right.
It's not my place. They need to do their work and their research and do their own interventions on their own behalf too. It's not my place to go and save people. Like I can hold my space and own my shit and watch what's going on around me. And if something needs to be intervened, even in a micro way, okay, maybe. But otherwise, we all need to learn our own lessons.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
It's got to show up for us until it's like smacking us in the face over and over. And it's like, hey, dum dum, when are you going to get to your shit? But me trying to, intervene isn't going to make that happen any sooner necessarily. Or maybe I can plant one little micro seed and then I'm going to back the F up and let them do what they need to do for themselves. It's not my job. It's not my place. We all have to learn our things in our own timing, in our own way, and intervening on behalf of the divine and the universe. But it's not my place.
Speaking of place, healing circles, drumming circles. You run some bomb ones. But is there ever, yes, but is there ever something that's ever happened during the healing circle that you just want to go over with a big old loaded pillow, like a heavy, just, you have a pillow, you have the cushion, you have the pillow inside the sack, then you want to load it up with extra towels or something like that. They're being disruptive. You just want to just stop it. Have you ever had that? Have you ever had any of those moments?
It might be more of someone maybe is a little too chatty. They're speaking into the space so much that they're not creating some quiet and spaciousness for some of those more quieter ones to lean in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really more. I'm not sitting analyzing everyone's energy in the circle and going, oh wow, they showed up with a pile of shit today. Like, no, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for in a circle, whether it's a drumming circle, cacao circle, whatever that space might be, where we're coming together and creating a sacred container and space for us to be there for each other and for ourselves. I'm not analyzing that. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to be aware of plenty of other things, but not who showed up with the biggest sack of shit that day. Because sometimes it's me, But more so, it's like it's more talking. Or if someone, there's not too many people that come in with a predominant energy that I've found so far that it's like their energy is just a black hole that's draining the whole space. I don't have that happen. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's just because of the circles that are magnetic to the energy that I'm helping facilitate. But it's more just some of the talkers. And, there's a couple that I know that can be a little bit extra verbose. And so I will just sweetly try to find a way of, I hear you. Yeah, wow, you've had a lot on your mind. Okay, well, let's have us sit with that for a moment, and then I'll try to shift gears, but let's have a little bit of space and a little bit of quiet. And then if anyone else, I'll encourage anyone else that has something to share to lean in at that point and try to pump the brakes on that particular overflow and then create a moment for other people to step in and share. And sometimes maybe that overshare made someone feel a little bit better about whatever pile of poop that they came into the circle with. And maybe if they said 2 words out of their mouth, that wouldn't be so bad. You know what I mean? So sometimes It could be purposeful. But if it's too much, though, if it's like complete verbal vomit, it's like, woo, okay. I think spirit has heard you on that. All right. Let's all take a deep breath. I'll find a way to kind of shift gears, slow the energy back down, and then invite someone else, various other peoples, to share something that's on their heart and mind as well.
Gotcha.
Guys, no, I don't think I've had anyone that's shown up that's really been like a black hole that's, sucking the energy out or showing up with a super shitty demeanor. Not in this type of circle. I've had that in other types of get-togethers or meetings and things like that, but not the kind of circles that I facilitate anyway.
Right. I've been in some circles where I just wanted to go complete Bernie Mac on their ass, like, ooh, motherfucker, would you shut the hell up? Get someone else to talk, boy. And they're just on and on and on. They take the whole space. Well, I got this, I got that. And there was one circle I went to. Homeboy just said, he goes, you know what? I don't think this is for you. We're trying here, and I don't think this is for you, because this girl, she came in and she just emotionally dumped, and everyone was just kind of sitting there like this after a while, and he saw, and she saw, but she didn't give a shit. I deserve to be in this, but you don't deserve to take up the whole time. Okay, you just kind of you have to pack it up, and you have to get. I know deep down I felt his energy. Bitch, if you get your goddamn ass out of here with that shit. But he was real. Okay, I'm gonna have to have you have a private session or something.
There's definitely a time where I was a co-facilitator for a domestic violence and sexual assault survivors group.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that stuff would show up sometimes, or someone would just kind of take over the whole thing, and the other facilitator and I would try to give it some space and then find a way to create a pause or okay, let's all take a deep breath for a minute and then try to again shift the energy of the room and allow someone else, like, I think we're going to need to talk after the group is over. Let's talk about that a little bit more. I don't want to cut you off altogether, but we need to take a break and give someone else some time to share. But yeah, because sometimes that can happen where anybody, I mean, myself included, could be sitting so deep in our place of victimville that we just have to dump it all out. And there is a time and a place, but sometimes to dump that much on a group that wasn't prepared or already in a fractured, bit of a frail place themselves, that's a lot to throw out at people.
I bet it is. I went to one domestic violence class one time, and we just knew this one guy every single damn time. Every time we went in, they were like, okay, we're going to let other people talk first. We're not saying that you can't talk, but we're going to let them. Because he would just take up like the whole damn time, either with jokes or just talking about nonsense. It got to the point where people would like just get up and just leave. And they're like, where you guys going? You have to be here. To no, he's taking up the damn time. We got to go. And we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So
yeah,
he finally figured out, okay, I guess I just really got to shut up, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have really 2 minutes. I'm putting the timer on now.
Like ready, set, and go. They just look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some people do need some guardrails or a different environment.
Environments. Okay, I got one for you. When it comes to certain environments, when you're trying to do your thing, and you just get just overall disruptive ass people. Just no matter what you tell them, no matter what you say, they just go off and do their thing because like, oh, I paid for this. This is my time. I'm gonna do whatever I want to. Have you ever just had to go over there just like, hey, Well, you're not. Generally, you're not a mean person, 'cause especially when you do your group. But you go over there, you're just thinking, you don't shut your fucking pie hole for 5 damn seconds. Have you ever had any of those moments?
Hmm. I'd say it had happened more in the corporate world.
Hmm.
Sometimes meetings, where someone's like predominant energy and the way that they phrase questions or interject into something is just like aggressive and mean and negative. Um, Unfortunately, in this particular situation, this was the right hand man to the owner,
Yeah.
and I did not feel comfortable calling him to the table, especially since I was new at the company and a new manager there. But yeah, I mean, like that just, and here I am bringing on 4 new people onto my team. And as we leave that meeting, those people say to me, like my new team are like, does anyone else feel like they just got kicked in the ass right there? That was not what I wanted you to get out of that meeting. And that sucks that is how this guy shows up.
Right.
And I'm not the only one feeling it. My team is feeling it too. So I really talked to some people around me because I didn't feel like I had influence over him necessarily, especially since he was, the dude to the owner. I just tried to find other ways to buffer that
Hmm.
and to have myself and other managers in that room deflect and interrupt and kind of shake some of that up so that it wouldn't feel like this brutal, smackdown every time that we went into that meeting. But I've worked in some office environments where it was, we called it the bullpen, whatever. I don't think they even use that word anymore. But it was like a more open, broader cubicle environment. But it was so that we could hear and learn and grow from each other's conversations with people looking for jobs and the companies we were talking to that were hiring them. And yeah, I mean, I had to do a lot of buffering sometimes, especially as I was at times that I was working through big piles of trauma and I was having my own stuff that I was present with, or I was getting to those spaces where I was starting to feel lighter and better in my own energy and environment. So like I did everything I could in my fucking cubicle to like this Zen zone, even though just 4 to 6 feet on the other side of that is someone else that their energy is in the room as well. But I had like my beta fish in my little bowl, and I had this little water fountain, and I would play like really soft, chill, like ambient music in the background. I didn't really want words. I just wanted the sound. So I would add a lot of layers of buffering. But I also would come into work and I would imagine myself in this like energy bubble of like, oh, I'm just in this bubble and I'm going to make a rule in my bubble that everyone else's energy stays outside and their energy just bounces off my bubble. And I'm able to keep my bubble as clean and contained as it is, and I would just sort of set that rule for the day. But that would help give me a little bit of energetic space from all the stuff around me that was going on that I couldn't necessarily control. It was just how frumpy Fran showed up and bitchy Bob and like, the dude or whoever would show up with their stuff. It would just give me a little bit of space from it. But I would absolutely take, multiple times during the day where I would get up, refill my water, go into the women's restroom in this corporate building, and I would imagine I'm in the toilet. It's the only few times that I have space to myself, but I would sit there and imagine that this bright ray of sunshine was coming down over my head and just filling me up and clearing out anything that was heavy and uncomfortable. And then I would use that flush as the way to like really have it
to release.
Let's take that out of my space. Okay. I mean, is that weird? Whatever.
No,
I don't care.
if it works, it works.
But if it was the only 2 to 5 minutes several times a day that I had to get some space, get some quiet and time to myself, then I was going to use it as productively as possible to take some deep breaths, imagine that sunlight coming in, and then flushing away out anyone else's BS that was in my space.
Hey,
So
if
yeah,
it works, it works.
I had to find ways around some of those things. But yeah, there has been some times where I have, and I try to be so, careful with the way that I'm saying something, because I'm not trying to obliterate someone, because I don't know what's going on behind the scenes,
Right.
right? Whatever BS that they've got going on that is making them show up like a dickhead that day, or overly verbal, or, stomping around with this mad energy. There's something going on with them. And so I try to be just a little conscious of that, of like, I don't really need to know what it is. And maybe depending on the person, I might just say, hey, are you okay? You seem overly uncomfortable or tight or something today. But for the most part, I would just try to give them some grace. But I would say, listen, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on with you, but you're kind of showing up in a way that is making some other people around you uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you're meaning to. Do you need to go take a break for a minute?
Not in the back of your mind, you know what? Go sit your stink ass down somewhere.
Sure, absolutely. But I've also learned to kind of check myself before I wreck myself. Because there's probably been times I have showed up as that, asshole, or stomping around, or like, oh my God, like nothing's going my way, whiner baby or something. And I've appreciated the people that have given me grace.
Right.
And so I've just tried to keep that in mind, of like, there's little ways that we can do some of these checks and balances where like, maybe I just want to go, ugh, but I'm not. But I could.
You could.
But I'm not, because there's probably something going on bigger than I can imagine. And that's me coming at you like that. It might shut you up for a second, but it's not going to really help overall.
You'd be like, damn, I just made it worse. And here come the damn police. See, damn it. Now we're both in the shit.
Yeah.
I got one here for you. This is one I asked ChatGPT. I'm not gonna lie. Give me a funny one to ask her. Do people ever expect you to heal their whole life with one Reiki session, like you're running spiritual DoorDash?
Yeah. And that type of thing, or a massage session, like, oh, I thought I would like feel magically better the next day, and I'm still tired, or I'm still this, or I'm that, and I'm like, those are times where I really just had to like zip it, because I'm like, please, like, beating the crap out of your body, or you taking on this amount of emotional stress for the last 5, 10, 20 something years, you think that one Reiki session or one massage is
going to do a cure-all.
And that's why when we talk, I try to give you some tips and tools and things that you can do for maintenance for yourself, whether it's stretching, whether it is journaling, or finding some time to pray, or those quieter times that you're learning to breathe deeper. I'm giving you those for a reason, because this isn't going to magically disappear after one session. Or a yoga class, let's say they walk in the room and they're like the stiffest person. And like every move is really tough on their mat. And either at the end of the class or maybe the next day or so, I'll check in with them and I'm like, how are you feeling? Oh, I'm hurting, or after the gym workout, after a first gym workout, we all know that you're going to be sore. You're going to have some places that you really felt the work. But it's going to take more than just that one time. It's going to be a rinse and repeat cycle for a while for you to start seeing some change. So yeah, absolutely. I've seen that happen. And I haven't, even though there's the part of me that's like, hello, Come on now. Like you can't eat junk food for all of your life, let's say 25 years, have one salad and be like, woo, I'm
I'm cured. I'm
done.
good to go.
I
Yeah.
did it. I did it. I'm better. I'm magically better now. Like, no, darling, it takes a little more time than that. And it
Yes,
takes
it
some
does.
consistency. I mean, yeah.
I get that all the time too. I just even with my regulars, I went out and I did this, and I need you to fix me. I said, I keep telling them, I don't fix, I facilitate. I need you to fix me. I'm not fixing you. And they do it sometimes, be little smart asses, but then they're like, no, just go ahead, just put your elbow as far in my shoulders as you can. I said, okay, all right.
Full
Just
steak
kidding.
on there.
Just sit there, and I sit there. And I felt loosening up, and I look at their ass cheeks, and I see their ass cheeks start going like this, getting tighter and tighter. They're like, "Ooh, ooh, can you loosen up a little bit there?"
Uh huh.
I act like I don't hear the ass. They're like, "Fill up." I'm like, "Oh, what's up?" "Oh, thank you, thank you." You loosened up. I'm just like, "Oh, okay, you're good." In the back of my mind, I'm like, "Deputy dog."
Right. Like again, like there's a reason that we don't give 100% and put that smack down on you,
Yeah,
and a pile driver and all the other things, a good triangle choke. Like we're not going to do that
no,
right out of the gate. Like we have to ease into your tissue, and there's absolutely a too much, and it's going to cause damage, whether you recognize it or not. It will. And just because you think that you're tough enough that you can handle more doesn't mean that it is beneficial.
Speaking of too much, have you ever had a hilarious too much moment with someone who was trying to be too overly spiritual? Maybe like a crystal, for instance. They have a crystal in their pocket, or maybe they have a crystal stuck in their bra or something. Have you ever had someone who's been too overly too much?
I definitely have come across a few people that think that they have absolutely everything figured out and that they have done all the work. They've shed all the layers. I have no more shadow. I have no more
Sorry.
ego. Like, oh, it's amazing. Um, and like it's like we all have stuff that we're going to continue to work on.
Hmm.
And I love that you've done a lot of work, and I love for you that you think that you've handled it all. But we just haven't. That isn't how it goes. Even in biblical times, like there was still layers of persecution, there was still layers of BS. I mean, those poor Israelites walked the desert for like 40 years
Yes.
waiting to get to the promised land. So I mean, like it takes the time it takes. But yeah, for the folks that think that they are so evolved that nothing bothers them anymore, it's like, wow, okay. Well, I like that for you. And at some point, you might have something happen where you're like, oh, boys, back to the drawing board. And I'm not going to say I told you so. It's not my place to say that. But, like,
In
wow.
the back of your scalp. In the back of your scalp, you're like, bitch, I told you so.
Like, I've gone to 850 ayahuasca ceremonies, and I have done this, that, and the other, and all the things. Like, my stuff is clear. Okay. Okay. Something's going to come and remind you that you're still human, that you are a spirit having a human body experience, and there's going to be a ripple in that clear little lake that you're sitting on the edge of, and there's going to be something to deal with. That's just the way life is. I hate to think of it as sort of a test, but I think it's just sort of a reminder is that there's polarity in our universe. There's dark and light. There's up and down. There's north and south. I mean, there's a polarity and a balance to everything in the universe. So even if you're sitting here on this space going, I am at the pinnacle of everything that is amazing and all I've ever wanted to accomplish, and I've done it all. Well, inevitably, there's going to be something that comes up, and it doesn't have to be a big WWE body slam or anything like that, but something to remind you that there's always flux. There's always movement. There's always some shifts and those pebbles in those lakes that are causing the ripples that we're going to have to deal with something. That's just the way life is.
Let's say, for instance, you had a client who comes up to you talking about they have everything figured out, and I'm sure you've had some clients. So I just need a little touch up. I need some just a little maintenance here and there. What would you tell them? What would you tell them? Like if they came up to you and said, "Laurel, just give it to me straight. I've done this. I've done this. Give it to me straight. No holds barred. Cuss at me." What would you say to that person?
Hmm. I'm not sure that I would cuss at them, but maybe in the back of my mind a little bit. But I'd really just try to dissect it with them, just sitting down and saying, okay, what if you looked at on the mental aspect of things? What you're thinking to yourself, what you're saying to yourself, the commentary that pops up in your head when someone says something to you. Have you sat with that? Have you sat with where some of the phrases that you might commonly use and regurgitate out there in the world? Did you sit and think of where those came from? Was that something your mom used to say to you? Was that something your dad or your grandma or, mean old Uncle Bob used to say to you? Have you dissected some of that? Have you thought about how what you say and how you show up is also a hand-me-down that you're giving to your next generation? And is it everything that you want it to be that you're handing down, whether you have children or children around you? How's that showing up? What's going on with your emotional system? What's going on with your physical system? There's times where I will work on someone's body and they can't tell when they're squeezing and when they've relaxed and let go. And it's like, well, you're ignoring your body from here down. You are numb to your body. So how can you be fully present and have done all the work when you can't even tell what's going on in your system? Why is your stomach tight and uncomfortable? Why is your chest contracted? Why is your low back and your glute muscles overly tight or uncomfortable? Are you sitting at your chair at your job all day squeezing your seat and squeezing your low back and not even recognizing you're doing it? Let that shit go,
Yeah, exactly. Let that shit go.
Or clamping your arms into your armpits or raising your traps up. Are you even realizing where you're holding tension during the day? Do you do that when you're driving? Do you do that when you're sitting? Do you do that when you're on the phone? How many other ways is this showing up that you're not conscious to? And then when I say spiritual, I'm really more thinking belief systems.
Right.
Of that, it could be things like people that have a lot of money are greedy and they're bad. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a belief system. Where did that come from? Or I have to work 200 times harder than everyone else because I'm not really deserving of having nice things. Or I have to over-sacrifice, to fill that not enough hole. Or I have to over-sacrifice because there's not enough in the world. There's not enough, and I'm never going to have everything that I need. That's a belief system. So those are things that I would put in the spiritual category. But how are those showing up for you? So really just kind of sitting with them and gently having them look at all these different aspects and saying, have you really looked at all of it? Have you really looked just a little bit deeper beyond the surface and sat with what's there and let those feelings bubble up, whatever they might be? And it could be, I'm angry that I feel that way. I'm angry that thing that my mom used to say, I'm going to beat the living daylights out of you, or whatever it was that your parent would say to you. I'm mad that comes up, or, oh my God, I just remembered I said that to my kid. Shit.
Then you have that damn moment.
Right. But there's a way to gently get to it of just saying, are you present? did you notice that the whole time that we've been talking that you've been squeezing your traps or you've been holding your hands in a tight knot? Did you even notice that? I don't think I've seen you take a full breath yet. But there's a way to get to it gently and with just love and peacefulness, because I don't really believe that. I think when we push our shit really hard at people, well, it's going to come right back in your face.
Yes.
That's the push-pull of the universe and the polarity as well, is that what we are sending out is going to come back to us the same way, if not multiplied.
Yeah.
So, we're all freaking humans doing the best we can on this planet with the tools that we have. And everyone just deserves some softness and kindness and respect. And there's a way to kind of lean in a little and respect their space and maybe plant a little seed and then give it time and space. Because again, it's not my job, your job, anyone else's job to go in and fix people.
Very good. Very good.
Can I share an example?
Please share an example. Let's hear it.
So I was a co-facilitator for that domestic violence and sexual assault group for 7 to 10 years. Mm-hmm. And then I was a local and national domestic violence and sexual assault speaker for 22 years. I really dug deep in those areas because I had my own healing to do around those things. And I wasn't going to just say, okay, yeah, that shit happened to me and okay, I'm moving on. I wanted to educate and talk about prevention, educate the people that were out there as first responders or in the healthcare system or in the legal system to say, these people are not just fucking case numbers. You need to give them some honor and grace for what they've been through. But what I found during that time period too is that when I came across 5 people in and around my circles that I knew were dealing with that kind of thing at home. Some had kids and some didn't. I felt that I needed to rescue them. So for 5 women, my house was sometimes the shelter. I absolutely was putting myself in dangerous spaces, trying to facilitate an escape for them.
Right.
And I'm lucky, as a single parent of my own and having a child at home during those times, that, one time we did have someone's dude on our doorstep and we didn't answer the door. But, man, that could have been awful.
Very brutal.
Out of those 5 women that I felt like I was helping escape and I was rescuing because I felt like the time was now and we need to do this and I'm going to help you. Guess how many went back?
4 of them.
4.
Damn.
It wasn't my fucking place to be Wonder Woman in their lives. Just like in my own experience, I had to decide the buck stops here. I'm drawing the line in the sand now. I'm getting some help. I'm getting some resources, and I'm going to plan an escape. And I'm going to go into hiding, and I'm taking my 5-year-old with me. But I had to make that choice. I had to stand up for myself and finally say for once that I was worthy and deserving of having something better that did not mean this nightmare that I'd been living with for 12 years. And I think everyone deserves that opportunity to say, whatever pile of shit I'm sitting in, whatever kind of flavor it is, they have to be willing to raise their own hand and say, I'm ready now. I'm ready to leave this. I can see that this is not for me and I might need some help, but I'm reaching my hand up for that help. I'm not necessarily going to have someone just reach in and grab me out of it without asking if I was done yet. Does that make sense? I mean,
makes a lot of sense. It makes perfect sense.
First times that people absolutely do need some kind of rescue. Their house is on fire. Yes, go in there and save them. But in some other situations, they have to be willing to raise their hand and say, I'm no longer willing to sit in this pile of shit and sit in this sauce anymore and decide that I deserve it. I know that there's got to be something better, even if I don't know what it is yet. So that's where a lot of my feelings on kind of stepping into people's spaces come from, is we have to learn things our own way.
Yes,
and
we do.
we absolutely can improve the relationships around us and really surround ourselves with people that are adding more to our lives. But also, when someone does give us that little seed, that we can say, okay, I'm going to do something with that. I recognize that seed is something that I should let grow and then let it develop and seek more of it, that I'm ready to leave this uncomfortable space that I'm in.
Man, that's deep. That really is. When when we all, like me, I've had those moments too where I've wanted help, and because I don't know. I guess I have this I give a lot of people a misconception about me where it's like, oh, it's Philip. He's big. He's tough. He don't need no damn help. It doesn't matter who it is. When people need help, they need help. But it's also up for, like you said, it's up to us to realize that, hey, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. I'm done. How do I get out of it? And you've seen, I've had plenty of those moments with you. I've come to you and like, how do I get better from this shit? And I'm glad I'm glad you helped me. I really am. And I know all those people that you helped. I know they're grateful. They really are. But like you said, it has to be up to us to finally say, enough. I'm done. What can I do?
Mm-hmm. Well, and sometimes we have to make, and this is a hard one, make choices and boundaries in our lives with people that are, no matter what, still so willing to sit in their victimhood and want to keep dragging you into it, but not be willing to do their own work. That we have to put some of those boundaries up that says, I'm sorry, I can't keep doing this dance with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had to do that. And it's been hard because I absolutely loved and love those people. But to have to say, okay, you're not going to start throwing dirt at me, or you're not going to keep pulling me in to try to keep rescuing you when you don't make any changes and don't do anything differently. I can't keep engaging in this. And I love you, and I am sending you so much peace and so much prayers for you to be able to live life differently. But until you are really ready to do the work and really come out of that space you're in, I can't keep doing this dance with you.
Right.
And man, that's painful.
I bet it is, and you've probably had to do that quite often, haven't you? And especially with the work you're in and everything, and then you gearing up. Well, and what you did, you restarted your business, which I'm very proud of.
Way. Yeah,
that's right.
You. But think about when I first reached out to you. It probably was Messenger, because I wouldn't have had your phone number or anything like that. But I've been seeing your posts and seeing stuff going on, and I don't remember exactly what I said, but I'm like, wow, you've been really asking some deep questions lately, and I think it's really interesting. What's going on with you.
Yeah, you did. You said something to that effect, and during that time, I was just going through a whole bunch of shit where I was just like, looking at then, social media, spirituality, but some of that stuff hits, and it made me think like, okay, how do you see yourself these next 10 years? Where all this anger that you hold inside you, this victimhood, do you want it to continue to be your story, or do you want to do something different with your damn life? And then I remember that's when we started talking. You reached out to me and you asked me, hey, I have this program. Are you interested? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that's and sometimes that's how things get started.
Yeah, I mean, I was just sort of testing first to see where your receptivity was, but I didn't say out of the gate, yo, dude, I have something that's going to save your life. You're like, here's your buoy right here. I didn't say
No,
that,
you
but I
didn't.
just said, hey, how's it going? I've really been seeing the depth of stuff that you've been posting about and these deep questions you're asking, what's going on? And I really just tried to see where you were at first. And then as we were started conversing a little bit more, I'm like, well, I have something I've been working on because it just pulled me out of a 6-month period of depression where I was just ready to, say F you to life and whatever. Like I
Hmm.
was just kind of done, but it just pulled me out of that. Would you have any interest? But I'm telling you, it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to do some work. Do you have an interest? But I led up to it really gradually to see where you were first, because it wasn't me going into, hey, I'm awesome and I'm going to try to save Philip's life. No, it's not like that.
No, you did it gradually. You did it in a way where it didn't push me off or made me close up to like, oh, wait, hold on, what's wrong with me? She's offering me this shit. No, it was very gradual and it was very open. And
Yeah.
have you during that time? I think you had several people doing it, or you reached
Well,
out to during the time.
I had a few people that said they wanted to,
Hmm.
and I gave the program, started things with them, and they weren't willing. You were the only person at that time that was willing to dig deep and do the work and to go through that archaeologist excavation process
Hmm.
of layer by layer, looking at what was there, sifting through the sediment, deciding what you were going to keep and what you were ready to let go of. So you were the only one at that time, but I had shared it with about 5 other people, and none of them had leaned in.
I know I did it because I was just like I said, I was just tired of my shit. I really was. I was just tired of my shit. Just the way things kept looping and looping back, and yeah, it's taken a number of years. Like you said, the layers. But hell, I'm at a spot right now where I'm like, you know what? I'm ready. Let's do this. Let's go forward. I mean, how many summers do I have left? Shit, I'm not going to be sitting in that shit that I was before. I want to
Right.
live.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's the next layer. It's time to keep moving up. And
Hmm.
I really see the world as sort of a spiral. That it's not a linear time. It's more of, okay, I've got the next layer. Now I'm going up to the next level. And I'm kind of taking this evolution of my life up a little bit higher and a little bit higher, but in a more of a circular spiral pattern than just like a straight line.
Hmm. Uh oh.
That's how
Hold
I
on.
see it.
Hold on, real quick. I think I just pulled my battery plug out because I just got the warning. Sorry about that. Yes, I
Yep,
did. There it goes.
no problem.
Cool. There
Well,
it
I
goes.
just
Yeah,
want to
there it goes.
say, yeah, hi there. Like, woo!
Woohoo!
But yeah, I've been really proud of you. I've been, just really liking the whole evolutionary process and seeing you kind of do your own thing and seeing you kind of take some of the lessons that you're learning and elevating yourself along the way. I've loved how our friendship has evolved. I consider you my brother. And I'm just so proud of you.
Thank
And
you. Thank you.
yeah, and I know that you've seen me change along the way as well. I mean,
Yes, I have.
I've had some ups and downs in the last 9 years or so of so many different ways of just things breaking and having to close the doors of my business and health challenges and all the things, and it has not been a pretty ride, and there has been plenty of times that I'm the one, like the 2-year-old having the temper tantrum with the universe of like, what? It has not always been pretty, but it's like that always that constant reminder to myself to come back to my tools and my routines and rituals and self care and remembering to honor what's coming and to honor the work and find just a place of respect and gratitude for these cycles of life and how things are coming up, because it's another opportunity to learn and grow and evolve. So
Yes.
it's not been pretty all the time, but I've been doing it with you.
Yes, you have. You have come a long way. But I remember the first time we spoke after you came back from your medicine ceremony in Sedona. I was like, man, something's up because you were like you were like calm. Everything that was bugging you no longer bugged you, or you knew how to manage it. It was like something clicked. I remember asking you, what did you do? And then we talked a little bit here and there about the ceremony. And then when it came time for that to come around, you like, hey, you want to come to it with me? Would you chip in for them? Hell yeah! I didn't hesitate. Hell yeah! Let's go because
Yeah.
it's like I said, when spirit calls, you answer. So spirit was really calling me during that time. Like, yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. I mean, what do I have to lose besides the bullshit? And what do I have to
Exactly.
lose besides the bullshit? And we ended up meeting some badass people. We did. We met a terrific group. That was my first like really true group healing, and it changes a lot of the ways how you view healing after that. It's like you realize that it's not there's nothing wrong with asking for help and getting into a group like that because there's only so much you can do by yourself, and you really do get a lot more done in a group than instead of like reading 1,001. I mean, you could read all the books you want to on healing, unless you're applying what you're reading. It's just words. That's all it is. It's just words. And that was me at that point. When you asked me to go to the ceremony with you, I'm like, let's see what happens. Woo, baby. That
Well, and I think that there's times that no matter where we're sitting in our lives, that we're like, wow, I'm the only one that is going through this right now. I am the only one sitting in this kind of pile of poop. And wow, this is just a lot. And I don't see the other side of it. But when we are willing to come together in community and share some of that, all of a sudden it's like, wow, look at that person. They're sitting in a similar but different pile of poop as me. And look, wow, here's this person and they're 80 years old and they're still willing to work on deep, dark, heavy things in their lives. Or, oh my
yes.
gosh, look at this sweet, like 25-year-old. Oh my God. Like they got to this place of healing so much faster than I did. I should have wished that I would have had this experience back then, but really getting to see that in community and in the world around us, that people are dealing with very similar things as we are. We're not sitting on this little island by ourselves. But it's being willing to come together and being willing to open our mouths and share some of
Yes.
those things, the depth of it, that's where a lot of the healing happens.
And I'm grateful. I'm grateful it does because if not, ooh, I'd probably still be a couple levels back. But it's not your level of healing trying to keep up with everybody else. You're going through your shit because that's at your level right now, which you need to handle. Then later on, you advance some more,
Yeah,
and I love it. I love it.
absolutely. Well, I have really been thankful in doing this work, by myself, but also sharing this work with you and seeing your own evolution in it. And, you've helped me every bit as much. That this is not a one-sided transactional thing. This is a very mutual and reciprocal friendship that I'm grateful for.
Yes, it is. Like I said earlier, you are family. Yeah, you are family, and to me, family goes a long way. I will do anything for family.
Yep, absolutely. Was there any clothing? Oh, not clothing, unless I have a list. Um,
Pigeon.
so any closing thoughts or things you want to kind of wrap up with today?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I love this. We've been talking about this for the last couple of years, sitting down and having a conversation like this, putting on the podcast and stuff like that. Shoot, keep this energy going. There's something. There's a good brew here. We can always jump on and Do a damn podcast. That'd be fun.
Absolutely.
That'd be
Absolutely.
fun.
Whether it's once a month or whatever, to kind of come in and speak on it and share our secret sauce and see what happens.
Exactly. Exactly. Let's do it. Well, Miss
All
Laurel,
right.
I'm good. Did you have any closing thoughts?
No, again, just gratitude. Just gratitude for, when I asked you how you were doing and what was going on 9 years ago, that you leaned in and you asked more questions, and just gratitude for our friendship and our family ship as well. So,
Absolutely.
just gratitude, brother.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Folks, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this ride, and we gonna have a lot more. Trust me, we are gonna have a lot more because I'm gonna make her like really just cuss one of these times on here. Like, do you know
That's
this
all.
guy? Do you know this damn? And he just actually, if you ever get to that point, I'm gonna be like, hey, don't deal with the people no more. Because
Simmer down.
I'll probably sit here and be like, like,
Are you
damn.
feeling okay?
Like, damn. Do you need me to come down to Phoenix and go for a walk or something?
Right. Exactly. Let's burn some sage. Good Lord.
Oh, I got a whole bunch of Palo Santos, man. We just throw it all in the damn fire and just light it all at one time, and we'll be sitting there be like, yeah, this is
All right. I feel
good.
better now.
All right, girl.
All right.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
We'll do it. We'll get to it. Thank you as well. I appreciate it.
All right, we will talk soon.
You got it.
Take care. Peace.
Okay.